All right, here we go. We have Frank DiMatteo, former Mafia associate and author of the book, The President Street Boys Growing Up Mafia. Welcome to VladTV.
Thank you, Vlad.
Well, you have quite a story. So I kind of want to start a little bit before your time in terms of the history of the area you grew up in. And that is President Street, which is an old Italian neighborhood in Red Hook, Brooklyn.
Yes. Well, Pleasant Street, all of Red Hook or South Brooklyn was all based off the water, longshoremen's. Mostly all longshoremen's had stores or rented or lived in that neighborhood. The docks was the most important. That was the life of the neighborhood. So that's how everything pretty much started from.
Okay, and by the 40s and 50s, the Gallo brothers pretty much took over that neighborhood.
By the late 50s, the Gallo crew started working downtown there in down Red Hook.
Right, and it was three brothers, Larry, Albert, and Joe, a.k.a. Crazy Joe Gallo, who was the leader.
Yes, and the father, Papa Gallo. Don't forget Papa Gallo. He was instrumental in them. And there was the three brothers, yes. There's Larry,
Got it.
Blast, and Joey.
Now, I think this part is a little gray area, but at one point, Albert Anastasia, what exactly was Anastasia's role at the time when he was living?
Albert was the boss of a family from 1950, I think 51 until 57. He was a boss of the Brooklyn family, which now is the Gambino family.
Got it. So the original Gambino family was Anastasia.
Was Anastasia, yes.
Okay. And there was a famous murder that happened in a barber shop in the Sheraton Hotel.
Yes. Well, the way I get it, being around these guys all my life and sitting around one of the shooters, is that Albert had to go. Albert was being crazy like Albert was being crazy like normal. He was selling buttons. He was going after civilians. He was feared, and Vito Genovese and Carlo Gambino, put together the plot to take him out, and they gave the task to Joe Bafacci, and Bafacci put the crew together to take him out, and it happens to be Joe Gallo and Larry, Joe Gelli, and Carmine were the hit squad. I mean, there's arguments that they weren't, but my argument is stronger than other arguments.
Okay. And Joe Gallo was allegedly one of the guys that was involved in that murder. And this murder was actually depicted in the movie The Irishman.
Definitely. Yeah, there's a lot of movies that's depicted in it. Yeah, it was a pretty big hit at the time. Yeah, and Joey was one of the shooters, yes.
Right. And one of the other shooters was Carmine Persico, a.k.a. Carmine the Snake.
Yes. And Joe Gelli and Larry. Gallo.
Okay. And Carmine the Snake was considered one of the most ruthless mob bosses in the Mafia's history. I guess he was suspected of personally killing 60 people himself and then ordering hits on hundreds more.
Yeah, I mean, they say that, but I don't think Carmine personally killed 60 guys. But I mean, he's a tough guy. He killed people. I mean, he probably ordered more killings than he actually did. Carmine was no joke. I met him quite a few times, and Carmine was for Carmine. Carmine was one of those like to climb those ladders, and you in the way, you in trouble. So he had no loyalty to anybody above him. So Carmine was a bad dude. But I think numbers are always over the top.
Okay, and ultimately, Carmine the Snake got sentenced to 139 years.
Yes, he did. He got, I think in 1986, something like that, he got in that Windows case. He defended himself. Did a good job, but he lost.
Right. And he was one of the few guys in the Mafia that always kind of remained loyal and never snitched on anybody and so forth.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys like that, and he was one of them. I mean, a lot of guys that doing life bids and long bids that stood loyal to the Omerta. But yeah, he was one of them. He was no joke. He was a real tough guy. like him or not like him, people have different opinions. But in that world, Carmine was, a real guy.
Okay. And at one point, there was a war that started between Frank Gallo and Carmine the Snake.
Between Larry, Albert, and Joey against with Joe Bafacci. What happens with Carmine was originally everybody's with Joe Bafacci. Bafacci's the boss, but they had crews. Carmine was the same crew as Larry, Joey, and Albert, and amongst all the other guys. They won the Johnny Bear Beach Auto. That's who brought them down originally, and then they wound up with being with Frankie. What the fuck is his name? Frankie Schatz. And at one point, a lot of scuttlebutt going on. Everybody wasn't happy with Joe Bafacci, and they wanted to make a move to break away. And they went to other captains, they went to other people, they went to Tony Bender and these guys, and they tried to get some support to pull away. And right before that happened, Carmine put an order to kill Frankie Schatz, and Joey didn't want to take it, so that gave it made a little animosity amongst the crew. But they sent Joe Gilly and Carmine to go do the killing, and it got done. So right after that was done, then they were even more. They wanted to break away more, and that really started, the breakaway with the Gallos against the Bafaccis, away from the Bafaccis.
So with that type of backdrop, we're going to get into your story. So you grew up in this neighborhood.
Yeah, I grew up in downtown Brooklyn. Yeah, Red Hook. My mother met my father when my father. My mother met very young. She was a barmaid. They got together. I come along. He was running the Hilltop for the Gallo family on Prospect Park West in Brooklyn. And I'm a little boy, just with a lot of uncles. They're very close. And as I grew up, I just seen more and more, and you start realizing things. And I saw the killing when I was 6. But it was a lot more cowboys and Indian shit, so I wasn't really affected by it. And then when I was old enough, I was just my father got me driving, and that's how I broke my Chevy by driving, and that's how I got involved in the early days.
Okay, and I want to get into sort of the chronological history of what happened. So you grew up essentially in a mafia family.
Yeah, my father bodyguard for Larry Gallo.
Exactly. He was also an enforcer for the Gallos?
Definitely, yeah. Yeah, and my uncle was Bobby Bongiovanni, Bobby Darrow. He was another enforcer for the Gallo family, and Joe Schipani is an uncle. He was a Genovese captain.
Okay, so you're growing up with all these guys just around you every day, and you mentioned at 6 years old you saw a murder?
Yeah, Joey Maggs got killed on 4th Avenue and Union Street when I was 6, right in front of us. But like I said, it was like I wasn't affected by it too much. It was more like bang bang, cops and robbers. My mother wished me off fast, and it didn't affect me too much.
Okay, but by 10 years old, you started to realize that you were in a mafia family.
Yeah, by 10 years old, other guys are talking to you, people coming up with the words, start talking. You realize that things are different in your household than many others. No one said nothing to me. They don't sit you down and tell you, we're mafia, and that's what that they don't tell you. What they do is it just comes out. You hear things, and by then I knew. By the time I'm 10, I knew that we definitely were different.
Okay, and you dropped out of school in the 9th grade.
9th, yes. Yep.
Okay, and you started hanging out with the local kids, which were the Gallo crime family.
Yeah, I started driving for my father. That's why I really dropped out of school, because near driving, I was driving. It was trustworthy. He needed me, and that's what I pretty much did. We were making money. He didn't think school was really important. That was his philosophy. So yeah, I started dropped out and hung out with the rest of the guys on Pleasant Street that were all dropouts too.
Okay. And you were like a tall kid at like 13 years old. You were like 6 feet tall. So you were able to sort of
Yeah.
like basically fit in and go to the strip clubs and the
Yep.
restaurants and the nightclubs as a grown man almost.
Exactly. No one knew the difference. I was 6 foot tall, 150 pounds. I dressed well, knew what to do, and no one questioned anything, especially if they know you're with somebody or you're with someone. They wouldn't think you were 13. I mean, maybe they didn't think you were 20, but they sure the hell wouldn't think you were 13. So yeah, you get away with a lot of stuff. No one's gonna question anything. And I was young, yeah.
Okay. And you became the driver for your godfather, Bobby.
Bobby Darrow, yes.
Right. And he was one of the shooters for the Gallows.
Yeah, Bobby was one of the shooters for Gallo. He was a real hot pepper. Bobby was. He probably had about 6, 7 killings on his belt by the time they took him out, as far as getting arrested and doing life in prison. But yeah, he was a real hot pepper. He was. I mean, I was very, very close to him. To me, he was just another character. I didn't see nothing. I know what he did, but I didn't find. But then again, I didn't find nothing wrong with it. So to me, it's okay. You do what you want to do. I'm not here to question anything.
Right. You said that he was like a jokester, but then he was also a stone killer. He was almost like a schizophrenic in a way.
Well, they were schizophrenic, man. My father was the most loving guy in the world, and he killed 10 people. So, and meanwhile, he would, cry at with a baby christening or, but the little triggers there, and when they get triggered off, it's back to business. And Bobby could be smiling, laughing, and something said wrong, and if the opportunity came, and you're gonna die, you're gonna die. I mean, they switch it on and off.
Okay. Like, what was the most violent thing you saw Bobby do?
Well, probably it was a fight. He threw a guy out a window on Coney Island Avenue over a bar. Then he shot the dog in the head. You know what I mean? Because I think it was all arguing over a dog. So he shoot a guy at the window and shot the dog in the head. So I think that was pretty wild at the time. That would open your eyes up and go, wow. You see a guy come in a second floor window and a dog right behind it shot in the head. Then he go downstairs and had a drink. So yeah, he was a wild guy. But to me, he was loving, smiling, laughing. He was a comedian. He used to love having fun, and just don't go into the business world with him or that end of the world with him. And it'd be beautiful.
Okay. What about your dad? Have you seen him do anything overtly violent?
I saw him. He got to an argument a couple of times in the early days. When we got older, I can't talk about what happened afterwards. As if any participation or anything, because I'm not a rat. I'm not an informant. I got no passes. I'm fucked everywhere you turn. So if I say anything really wrong, I'm in trouble. But as a kid, I saw my father had an argument on Columbia Street, and I did see it. He wound up stabbing a guy, got into a fight, wound up stabbing a guy, wound up dying. And many fights, many barroom, brawls. Pretty much that, anything when I was older, I really can't get into. But he did many things, I remember he used to practice on a motorcycle with Mac 10s because he was going to do a hit one time. We had to drive him on. He's sitting in the back, and we had to on a motorcycle so he can get the rhythm of shooting and stuff like that. He was a nutty guy, So you would see all this stuff like that. He would get little iron balls and see how fast you can go by somebody, how you can crack their window with the little balls if you want to get them to stop. Little like metallic balls. It stops cars from driving because it shatters windows. He did all crazy stuff when he was when he was on one of his somebody's gonna die modes. So he used to practice things like that. So he was like kind of little out there, but it was normal for him to be out there, you expected that when he was that way. But then back to normal, he was a normal guy, as normal as you can be.
Okay. So here you are growing up in this crazy lifestyle, and your father is essentially a hitman. Your godfather is a hitman. You have all these other family members that are, ranking members in the mafia. And you started doing some small street crimes yourself at one point.
Yeah. I graduated from probably driving, then you start picking up numbers. That's what you do next. You pick up numbers and you drop off money, bookie money or Sherlock money. That's what you start doing. You're trustworthy, so that's what you do. They depend on people who are trustworthy, and that's why you get these tasks to do. And that's what being Ricky's son, I would get the task to go pick up money, drop off money. And then I graduated when things are bad. If somebody needs a guns, they would trust you with guns. You bring a gun here, bring a gun there, bring money here, money there. Or if somebody's on a lam from doing something wrong for whatever reason it was, you would know where they are because you would be trusted, and they would trust you to wiggle your way there because you're younger. And no one's, you're not on the radar as much as the older guys, so you get to do these little tasks that would help people. You use to do what you're needed for. And then when I got old enough, we started, want to make more money, and then we wound up getting in the drug business.
Okay. And what were you doing in the drug business?
Pretty much drug business. They're all my connections. I never, sold drugs personally. But we had the connections, and what I did was some guys who approached me would need something, and I would find out if anything, who has it, and I would arrange everything, and they go do their business, and I make sure I got paid. But I never sold a drug, in the street or something like that. I would just use my name or my credit. That would definitely my name and credit would be the whole thing. But we wound up, making a lot of money, and I wound up getting arrested in 81 for it.
Right. You had 11 total arrests, right?
Total, yeah. It's my whole life. Yeah.
Okay. What were the different arrests for?
There were 2 drug pinches, there was 3 gun charges, and there was, I think, 7 or 6 were fights. They were like, ballroom fights or street fights that we all got arrested on. But I got 3 gun charges and 2 drug charges.
Okay.
I wound up beating them all, everything.
Aha. How'd you beat them?
Well, get good lawyers. You don't get scared, and you don't give in, and you wait them out. And 9 out of 10 times, they don't have what they think they had on you. So you just wait it out. The drug one was the hardest to wait out because I was 25 life bids, so that was pretty scary, that one. So that was waiting that one out was pretty rough.
Okay. Well, you have this mafia family, but you yourself, did you ever want to join and become a made man?
I was with Ricky, and everybody knew I was with Ricky. So where Ricky went, I went. We never talked about being made at the time, or it wasn't our topic of talking. Ricky got proposed twice and turned it down. So at the time, he wasn't encouraging it. He got proposed by Tony Bender in '61 that he turned down, and then in the late '60s got proposed again and turned it down because he wanted to be freelance. Even though he was with somebody, he didn't want to be obligated. He was really a Machiavelli type guy. So,
okay, so you never actually became made.
No, when I got proposed in '99 when everybody got arrested. Yeah, I got proposed in '99 for December '99, and everybody got arrested. That's where we went with the Jersey crew with Sammy the plumber, and we were anti-rotunda, and we were all 3 of us were proposed at the time, and I think a couple of weeks before we got proposed, before the actual ceremony, everybody went to jail. Everybody got arrested. So I got locked out.
Okay, and what family were you going to join?
That was with the Di Calicante family out of Jersey.
You grew up knowing Joe Gallo. I guess he was Uncle Joe to you.
Yes. I got when I was real small. When I was real small, I was very young when he went to jail, and I was like 7, 6, like that. So I know him from pinching my cheeks until I cried. That was his MO, man. Come in and pinch your cheeks until you cry. That was his showing affection. So I was used to that. He did it, and his two brothers did it. Larry didn't do it as much, but Blast did it, Albert did it, and Joey was crazy about doing pinching your cheeks until you cry.
Right. So Joe Gallo, aka Crazy Joe, I guess he ran all the unions, right?
Well, they had people that ran the unions. I mean, it's what you have. You know, he had I think he had Joe Shep Hanny. You have to put Joe Shep in your pocket, then you have the controls of things. You know, Joey was big in the jukeboxing business, games, pinballs, jukeboxes. That was his lifeline. You know, that was Joey's lifeline. That's what he tried to build and branch out and make the chunk of his money at the time before he got pinched.
Okay. So in 1971, Joe Colombo, who was the head of the Colombo crime family,
Right.
was attending a rally for Italian-American civil rights. And a black guy went up to him and ended up shooting him in front of everybody.
Yes. And wound up getting shot and got killed. Yeah.
Right.
And they blamed Joey Gallo.
Right. Joey Gallo got blamed for this because I guess Gallo would associate with black guys in prison and was using them for his various dirty work, essentially.
Well, Joey got friendly with Nicky Bonds and while he was in jail and stuff. So when they put that together, I mean, we were always friends. Even before Joey was in jail, we were always friends with blacks. We used to go to East New York. We used to go to Brownsville. We used to collect numbers. So we were always intermingle with the blacks in Spanish or Arabic. So we were making money. So we always had a hand in with them. But when Joey was in jail, he wound up getting close with Nicky Bonds, you know. And when he got out, and he had the argument with Joey Colombo, and then Joey wound up getting shot. And it was a black guy, so they blamed Joey right away. Gallo, you know, I said it wasn't, but everybody argues that it was, but I say it wasn't. So, you know, it's too obvious, too stupid. And they also said that we would have been off the street. They wouldn't have made us walk around the street like a bunch of suckers. You know, everybody would have got a whisper, or any of us would have got a whisper something was going on. I got whispers for a lot of other things. I would have got whisper for that. So that was one of my reasons why we didn't do it. Now I'm young, you know what I mean? They keep things from you. You know, nobody walks up to you and go, "Oh, we're gonna kill Joey Colombo today." That doesn't work that way. Only the people that's involved in it is gonna wind up, know all the details. I mean, if there's a 3-guy hit team, those 3 guys are gonna know about it. Not all 20 of us are gonna know about it. That doesn't work that way. But being all my life there, my answer is no, we had nothing to do with it.
Okay. And I interviewed Michael Franzese from the Colombo crime family, and he said he was standing right next to Joe when that happened. Well, they had one big rally, and that went well. Then they had a second rally in Columbus Circle in Manhattan, and you were actually standing next to Joe Colombo when everything went left.
Well, he had given me, I was up on the stage, and he had given me some brochures to hand out near Lincoln Center. And I remember the last words he said to me that day. He said, "Michael, hand these out. Just everybody that you see, get them to come to the circle here, the rally." And as I was walking away, he says, "And we're going to use this league to help your father." I walked away from him. I was getting to the steps that go, leading off the stage into the Columbus Circle there. And that's when the shots rang out. And initially we didn't know what happened, but it was just hysteria at that point.
I wasn't there. We were not allowed to go that day. We were told to stay out of the rally. They didn't want us to go to the rally the year before either. But that year it was a protest. Joey Gallo was protesting that that we shouldn't go there anyway. So we weren't going to be there anyway. So Michael was there. Michael was there. I like Michael. Michael's a good guy. If Michael was there, he's there.
Okay. Did you interact at all with Michael Franzese?
Yeah, we had a lot of... Years ago, we had... my father was good friends with his father, Sonny. So we used to meet in Georgetown once a week. many years ago, and everybody would talk, and we used to drink, and his father and my father used to, talk what they had to talk about, and if we weren't in conversation at the time, we would have a drink. But yeah, for a whole summer, a whole year, probably more than a whole summer, we were doing things together. In it had to be the 70s, if I'm not mistaken. It's a long time ago. Could be the 80s, but it was 70s. I happen to like Michael. Michael, to me, is a good guy.
Well, Joe Colombo gets shot. He lives, but he's paralyzed for the rest of his life until 7 years later he ends up dying.
Right.
Joey Gallo gets blamed for this.
Right.
And then at this point, does a whole war break out?
Well, there's after Joey Colombo gets shot, yeah, a couple of other guys get shot at, a couple of guys die. Joey was told to lay low. Joey Gallo was told to lay low because they were blaming him, and Joey didn't listen. He was one of those guys saying that nobody's gonna kill me. They ain't got the balls. He had no fear. Joey had no fear, and he wound up killing him.
Joe Gallo, after the murder of Joe Colombo,
Right.
Continued to sort of rise in power. And people weren't really happy with him because he was sort of a flashy guy. He hung out with celebrities and, he was doing the opposite of what the Mafia is supposed to do. Almost, you can always compare him to, later on with, what's his name?
Gotti.
The Teflon Don.
John Gotti, yeah, I know you said it.
John Gotti. So would you say he was almost like a John Gotti character before Gotti?
Joey was always out of the box. That whole crew was out of the box. They always never did nothing and conformed to anything that was rules and regulations. So from day one, they had Syrians in the crew, they had Jews in the crew, they had Puerto Ricans in the crew, they had Irish in their crew, Italians. So they were always out of the box. Joey, maybe when he got out of jail and he got a taste of the limelight with those celebrities, and he was enjoying it. Then maybe he got a little stupid, whatever you want to call it. But prior to that, no, he was never a photograph, guy, or he was always on a low. I just think when he got out of jail and he met those people, it changes your mind for a little while. And plus, he was like a Machiavelli guy. He thought he can live two different ways and get away with it, But did he really like the limelight? I have to say yes, because I think it's human nature. Once you get that spark, you run with it. It's hard to turn away from it, like anybody else. It's hard.
Well, I had heard that Gallo had a pet lion, which he used to basically scare people with who owed him money. Yeah,
in the early days, probably late, maybe 59, 60, 61, we had a lion on President Street that Larry and Joey bought from a guy in Manhattan, and we put it in Armando the Midget's basement, and when some guys didn't pay them, pay their what they owed, or their debts, Larry or Armando used to bring them near the basement door, and they used to hear the chain of the lion when he's jumping, try to run up the stairs. He's chained downstairs. They would get pretty scared, and get paid. They didn't know how big it was. It's scary down there. It stunk, so it was pretty. You get nervous. But we didn't have it long because they grow fast. So I don't think we had maybe 6-8 months, and we had to get rid of it. That's why I told the story. Right before that, we had the monkey. Joey and Larry brought home a monkey from the same guy from New York, and the monkey kept on throwing the shit at everybody, and Joey wanted to kill the monkey, and Larry didn't want to kill the monkey, so they made Roy Musical, which is Roy is another crew member. Go call this guy up and said, "You better take him out," I said, because Joey's going to kill the monkey. So they got the monkey out there fast, and a week later, they went and got, the guy called back again and said, I got a baby lion, a baby cub. And Larry and Joey drove to the city and picked it up and drove back with the lion in the middle of the seat with them driving back. So they were comical. They were bad guys, but they were comical.
And you described Joey Gallo as a scary guy.
Yeah, he was no joke. Joey was for real. Yeah, Joey was for real. I mean, if you were a Joey fan, you were a Joey fan. When you loved, either you hated him or you loved him. There was no in between with Joey. You know what I mean? And him too. He either loved you or he hated you. It was vice versa. But he was a real gangster. He was a real old school gangster.
Okay, so then the situation that happened at Umberto's, a restaurant on Mulberry Street.
Right.
So Joey Gallo was celebrating his 43rd birthday. This was in April of 1972. He went to go see Don Rickles perform at Copacabana. And then afterwards, along with his wife, his daughter, and his sister, and a bodyguard, they went to Umberto's restaurant to celebrate.
Right.
And what happened next?
Well, Joey was told for weeks, don't go to the city, don't go to the city, stay low, because the rumbling is going on, that, it's an open contract on you. We all knew this. And Larry Gallo was dead already, died in 1968, so Albert was telling his brother Joey, to lay low. Just lay low, don't go. But Joey said that, he was no fear. Joey had no fear, and he said, I'm going to go. So he took Bobby Bongiovanni and Peter Greek with him to the Copa that night for dinner and party. And after dinner, they wound up. My godfather wound up going home. He met a girl, and Joey told him to go, that they were going home. So Peter Greek was staying with him that night. He was going to drive him home. On the way home, Joey got hungry again. And they used to go to a Chinese restaurant on Mott Street. It was closed. It was like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. And Joey still said, go look for something to eat. And they wound up rolling up on Umberto's, which was a new place at the time. And Matty the horse, the owner, was standing outside. And Peter Greek recognized him. And they said they just opened. He goes, they opened. And they went in. They wound up going in for dinner. While they were going in for dinner, one of the guys spotted Joe pulling up, one of Colombo associates. And he ran to the club, made a couple of phone calls. And as history goes, Joey Yacovelli told him to go kill him. And they got a 4 or 5 guy hit team. And they went in the Umberto's and killed Joey.
Okay, and Umberto's was actually owned by the Genovese Mafia.
Yes, that was Matty the horse's place. Yeah.
Okay, anyway. So there was a little bit of confusion whether they would have to have okayed that hit on their territory, right?
100%. That's why Sonny Pinto, one of the shooters, and those guys were in big trouble. Because they went in Matty the horse's place in a Genovese restaurant on Mulberry Street and did a hit. So Matty the horse was livid, man. That was a big secondary trouble out of that.
Okay, and this was portrayed in The Irishman as well, this whole situation.
Yeah, but he said that he went and done it. We know he didn't do it, but he did.
Okay, right.
Try to tell the story that way, yeah.
Right, because according to The Irishman, Frank Sheeran said that he killed Joey Gallo on the orders of Russell Buffalino.
Right.
And you're saying that's nonsense?
It's 110%. It's all bullshit. 110%. We know Yacovelli because we got the guys that flipped on the Yacovelli scent. It's not that I make it up. You get one of them guys that went to the feds and turned himself in. So, forget about Peter Greek coming telling me personally that was Sonny Pinto that shot him in the ass. One of the guys on the hit went to the feds and turned himself in, Luparelli. So that's a no-brainer to me. The guy who got shot in the ass told me, one of the shooters went and turned himself into the fence. So I don't know where the Irishman comes in at all. So
Right. I've interviewed Michael Franzese as well as other, Mafia affiliated guys, and they all said that the Irishman was just fiction.
Pure bullshit. Yeah, it was entertainment. Yeah, but it's Hollywood. Hollywood's good. Yeah, but it's all bullshit.
Okay. Did you have any knowledge or interaction with Jimmy Hoffa at all? Because that was one of the big things. That's
Nothing.
always been a big mystery.
Nothing. We had nothing to do with Hoffa. Hoffa had nothing to do with us over here. We had nothing interacting with him in any capacity.
Okay. At the time that Joey Gallo got killed, were you guys close at all, or did you guys interact a lot?
Joey? Me and
Yeah.
Joey?
Yeah.
Sure, Joey's an idol to us, man. All the young guys on the block, Joey's Joey Gallo. Of course, we would interact. I mean, we're younger than him. I mean, we don't go and pile with him, but come and your cheek or tell you what to do or send you to go to the store or tell you to wash his car or just acknowledge you at the time is what you get is good. But we don't forget we're much younger when Joey. I think we were 16 when Joey got killed. Most of us. We were there, but you ain't gonna hang out with us. We were kids, but we were very close to Joey. Joey was very important to us.
How did you feel when you heard that Joey got killed like that?
Well, we were devastated when Joey got killed. We were devastated. It hurts, and plus, then you get mad. And then you want to know why, when, and where, what would it do. But the issue is hurt. You lose. It's like losing a mentor, like losing a father. That's how our feelings are when we love someone. And you're that close. It's really it hurts.
Well, seeing your hero get gunned down like that didn't make you say, maybe I don't want to do this. Maybe I need to just go a different direction in my life.
No, not at all. Not at all. Not at all. You go. Your mode goes into, if you live in this life and you're not make believe, and you live in this, you're gonna go into mode of who, what, where, and how. You know what I mean? To find out details, what we're gonna do, why. Especially when the big boys get together and they put their heads together to see what happened over here. You just sit back waiting for what to do, if you could be instrumental in any way. But no, it didn't fear, because many guys got killed after him and that were very, very close, and I mean, I got shot at, I wound up losing a beautiful car on that deal, but no, not if it comes natural to you, you don't, and you're young and you were stupid, in a lot of ways, and I always argue that people who want to be gangsters are the ones you got to worry about. The ones that come in there naturally is the guys you got to, that are really scary. So, we never chose this. This was a natural happening.
Okay. Well, at one point when you were dealing drugs, you actually met up with Meyer Lansky in Miami.
Yeah, we flew down in the early 70s to, my father was doing a pot deal. He got got some guys, some Colombian guys and some Cuban guys, and some Jewish guys up here put together bought an airplane, and they got a pilot, and they were running loads of pot from wherever it was, Colombia, probably Colombia, somewhere. And while we're down there, I wound up, having lunch with Lansky, Meyer Lansky.
Okay. And Meyer Lansky, along with Lucky Luciano, he was one of the guys that really created a national crime syndicate.
Yeah. It was Lansky was real tight with Luciano. He was tight with Frank Costello, Joey Adonis. They were all, my uncle Joe Schapani was tight with Lansky and Joe Adonis and Costello. So these guys were all very close. And if you needed something, they would extend a hand to you. We wound up talking. He probably had, at the time, I don't remember, many years ago, I think he had a connection for trucks that when it came off the plane that they needed help somehow like that, and that's why you go to who you need, and that's why he wound up being instrumental. Meyer Lansky, he was a very nice guy. He was old.
Right. I mean, was this pretty much the highest ranking mafia guy you ever came in contact with?
No, not at all. Not at all. I met Frank Costello before him. Uh, God, I sat down with Carlo Gambino before that, or right around the same time. You know, Arnel Delagrossi was, those guys were all high-ranking guys. I mean, you know, damn, Chrissy Tick was a big guy. There was a lot of big guys at the time. That was, you know, and who's bigger than, you know, to us? No one was bigger than Joey, you know, or Larry, or Albert, or my father, you know. So there was no one bigger than them anyway. I mean, you respect, you know, these other guys, and you know where they're coming from, but you know, that guy's no bigger than your guy, you know, when you're with someone. So, but there was a lot of many guys that we met that were very friendly. My father was very friendly with a lot of guys.
Right. I mean, Carlo Gambino, he was one of the original founders of the mafia in America.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. Yes, he was. He was, and I met him, you know, about 2-3 years before he died. He was a nice older man, you know, but like I said, he does the same thing the guy did before him. You know, to get his position, he had to kill somebody, and you know, took out his boss too, because he was underboss at the time with Frank Costello. You know, and you're not supposed to kill your boss. You know, the argument with that is, I just heard one the other day, is that Joey Gallo and Carmine didn't do the shooting. It was a Genovese, or it was a different crew that did it, but. They want to know why they pieced it out to the Pafaci family. I said, because you're not supposed to kill your own crew or your own boss. So that's why they pieced it out.
Okay, so here you are, you're basically drug dealing and making money that way. And then you end up getting that really big bust
Right.
Later on, and you were facing life.
Right. Yes.
Ultimately, what happened? Was it a plea deal, or did you take it to court?
We took it to court. It took 19 months, and in 19 months, they threw it out. They threw it out with lack of evidence. It was a Nassau County indictment and a Kings County arrest. It was all screwed up from the beginning, and we wound up getting it thrown out after 19 months.
Okay, and was that the point that you ended up leaving it all behind?
Oh, no. No, we went right to business, right back into business. I mean, you had to do what you had to do. I think that was 80, 82, 83, 83, 84, 5, maybe 86. 86, we wound up getting into, another guy came to me and he wanted to do some stuff. And I just, like I said, again, I fronted my name and my money. And it just kept on going until... it was over with. You know, and there was many years after that. You know, I wasn't cocky about it. I was double careful afterwards. You know, but no, you keep on doing what you got to do. You know, what am I going to do? I had nothing else to do. I mean, we had a newspaper business at the time. We had that Screw magazine, so we had a distributing company. But what else is there to do? Like, you know, that's what you do. That's what you do. It's like I said, it's natural. You don't think about it. If you think about it, then you shouldn't be where you are.
Okay. What was the situation that made you walk away from the mafia?
Well, it happened in 2001. What happened was we wound up, we were with Chin for a while. And then because of the drug involvement, you know, we got released. And we wound up, my father wound up being a consigliere to this guy named Anthony Rotunda that just got straightened out in the Jersey crew, Jersey family, and he had a Brooklyn crew he was putting together, and he needed to be guidance. So Louis Teresi and a guy named Rudy came and approached my father and asked him if he would school him. And my father said, of course, because my father was a friend with his father, which was Jimmy Rotunda, and he was head of the Longshoremen's Association, one of the delegates. So my father said, yeah, and we wound up getting involved with the Jersey family, with Samuel Plummer, and then, like in 1999, the books opened over there, and I got me and two other friends got in that crew got put up to be straightened out to be made. That was in November when they let us know, and I didn't know. My father grabbed me and sat me down in some restaurant, and he told me, that that I was proposed to for that thing, and that if I wanted it, make sure I want it, and if not, you could pass it. You could pass it up with no problem. You could pass on it. But if I do take it, that if I fuck up, that he's the one that's gonna kill me. I said, okay, no problem. And a month later, then we finished drinking. We left. And a month later, our skipper got arrested with the whole upper echelon of the whole family. So it never happened. So December '99, our skipper got arrested. He was in jail waiting trial and whatever charges it was. And then I think it was January 2001. They wanted to take him out of circulation, and we found out that he flipped too, and that was it. When he flipped, everybody might be in trouble again. So my father turned around and said, just sit back, wait to see who approaches us, and just sit on your hands and don't do nothing. So we waited. A lot of guys other guys got arrested. It was a long trial. I just wrote a book about it. And the law came to us, questioned us, but Anthony never gave us up, even though he flipped. Anthony Rotunda, he never gave up his crew. As far as the little guys around him, he never gave them up. Gave it by above him, some big boys, or the guys who actually did some shooting with them, or he was involved with that he couldn't walk away from, or couldn't turn a blind eye to. And about a year after that, my father turned around and said that he was finished, he was done, he's going to retire, and he's going to Florida. I said, okay, what are we supposed to do? He says, you could stay here, run we had an adult video company at the time. He says, you could finish up with that, and then when you want, get your ass to Florida, and that's it. He's not talking to nobody. He's not doing nothing. He's not obligated. He's not obligating nobody because no one came knocking, and that's it. He told me that if somebody comes knocking, don't answer the door. And we wanted walking away and just get into other legitimate stuff. And as one thing died, we got into something else that was more legitimate at the time.
Well, now you walked away from the Mafia. You didn't tell on anybody. You didn't rat on anybody. You didn't put anyone in prison. You got lucky that no major charges really hit your way.
No, after we walked away from Anthony, and after that, Anthony Rotunda pinch in '99, and when that 3 years, there was, we got questioned and stuff like that, and no one gave us up on things that could have been, they could have gave you up on at the time. Then we just walked away. The whole family was in distort. Everybody ratted on each other. There was no one really to come and knock on the door for a Brooklyn crew. They're all Jersey guys, We were a Brooklyn crew in that family. So nobody even knew, half of them didn't know who the hell we were, So they didn't really know what to do. They didn't know who you were. They didn't want no trouble. They're running for the hills themselves. So you wanted walking away. It was that dysfunctional that it was that easy to walk away.
Yeah, and you said that the RICO Act is really what broke up the Mafia the way it did.
Oh, definitely. The RICO Act is they got smart. The law got smart, and they found something how to screw you. And after the RICO, everything changed after RICO. Everybody's getting long-term sentencing. They were linking everybody together. Don't forget, we used to have a cushion. It was smart. There was a structure there that, the boss would keep himself insulated. Or somebody, everybody would insulate themselves, and you go chain of command. So this wouldn't happen, that you wouldn't be involved in something that, that you didn't have to be involved with. That's why if you're not privy to things that wasn't your business in this life, you wouldn't know if a hit was going down. You wouldn't know if something was going on if you're not involved in it. That's to keep people away from things so they can't rat on you or or protect themselves. So, but once RICO came in and they put everybody together, you're fucked. That's it, bro. That's it. It's a whole new world. They got smarter than you, and we couldn't keep up with them. So now it's just like trying to outrun them. But it's that was definitely the downfall of organized crime. That and surveillance and the cameras and we're dead. You're afraid to move.
Out of all the guys that you came up with, how many are still alive as opposed to dead or in jail?
Well, in my day, with Joey Gallo's crew, which is, we were originally with, and my father came up with, there's only 5 people alive in that whole structure, whole Pafaci, Gallo, that I know, 5 people. So, yeah, everybody I know is gone. People I know afterwards, they're still around. I don't know them well. I mean, you interact with people. I mean, they don't make you a friend, that you know them well, but most of the people I know are old timers. I never dealt with young people, so most of the people are gone. Most of the people are gone. I got some friends from this, that's my age, maybe a little year or two. One older, one two younger, but they're all trying to stay low. And when I got into the magazine business, who the hell wants to sit with me anyway? Nobody wants to sit with me no more. So. Really, I don't know anybody really no more. No.
Well, and you said you actually missed the life. Being a civilian is not as much fun.
Oh, no, 100% no fun. But yeah, we missed it. Me and my friends who sit around and that's walked away. A couple guys walked away. So, yeah, we miss it. Can we do it again? No more? No, we can't do it no more. But do we miss it? 110% we miss it. And anybody tells you no, they're full of shit. Because it's in your blood. It's in your blood. Who's not gonna like making money, having 100 girlfriends, dressing well, sleeping all day, the power of kicking someone up their ass, batting them in the head. It feels good sometimes, So, I'm not born again, so to me, no, I miss it. Can I do it again? No, I can't do it now. I'm too old, too set, I'm hurting. But yeah, I miss it. Yeah, if I could blink myself back, yeah, in a minute.
Well, that's how we're going to end it. Frank, appreciate you sharing your story. Make sure everyone, checks out your book, The President Street Boys Growing Up Mafia.
Thank you.
A hell of a book, a hell of a story. You were right there in the middle of it all, in the mix with all these important mafia figures that are still legendary to this day. And you managed to walk away from it, which is something that 99% of people don't really get to do.
No, I walked away not being a rat, not being a informant, never spoke to a cop in my life. I can, my head up in the air, it's fun. But I just got to be careful. I can't what I say. That's it. I just got to be careful. I like to, sometimes you hear people talk, you say, he did this, he did that. Like I said, I want to do nothing, what I mean? But it hurts, not it hurts, but you have to be just careful. People around you say, but Frankie, didn't you that? No, I didn't do nothing. No, I didn't do nothing. No. So, when you get that pass by being a rat or informant, it's so easily, to be talkative.
All right. Well, Frank, appreciate you sharing your story, man. Quite an interesting account of the New York underworld. And, when you fast forward to 2020, when you have movies like The Godfather, Goodfellas, The Irishmen, which most people have said was fiction, but still, it definitely has been very much romanticized in cinema these days.
No doubt about it.
It's always great to actually hear the real stories behind what really happened.
Yes, it is. I thank you for having me on.
Absolutely. Until next time, wish you all the best.
You got it, buddy. Thank you.
Peace.